Hello dear students, welcome to the TechCube faculty initiative of Let's Crack the Gate. Welcome to the lectures of Power Electronics Module 2 AC/DC rectifiers. So let's begin today's class. So in today's class we are going to cover do the previous year gate question papers, gate questions. I have compiled the gate questions of single phase AC/DC rectifiers till the topic we have studied till now, and the questions pertains from 2007 to 2020. So let's begin with the questions starting from the 2007. So here the first question is that a single phase full wave half controlled bridge converter a single phase full wave half controlled bridge converter feeds an inductive load. The two SCRs in the converter are connected to a common DC bus. The converter has to have a freewheeling diode. So first of all, study the sentence, what the question, what is given to you. Alright, here it is get the single phase full wave half controlled bridge converter feeds an inductive load. Now, so it means that if we just draw the circuit, and what kind of, and here it is given that two SCRs are connected to a common DC bus. Alright, it means the circuit configuration of half converter, half controlled or semi converter is like this. Okay. And it is providing an inductive load. Okay. So now it is saying that the converter has to have a freewheeling diode. Why? Because the converter does not provide for freewheeling, because the converter does not provide for freewheeling for high values of triggering angles, or else the freewheeling action of the converter will cause shorting of the AC supply, or else if a gate pulse to one of the SCRs is missed, it will subsequently cause a high load current in the other SCR. See, what we have studied in a single phase half controlled bridge converter or a single phase semi converter is that although these branches means, let us say if this is thyristor T1, this is T3 and this is diode D2 and diode D4, we know that during the difference means when there is a difference of firing angle like this. So this is pi durations and this is the firing angle durations, this one. So you know that we know that during this time, let me show a different pen. During this time means till the time means when the cycle becomes reversed until the time the gate pulse is received. During that time, one of the thyristor has to be remained forcefully turned on, and the diode immediately becomes forward bias from this point. Alright. So what happens that this semi converter bridge inherently has the freewheeling function. Alright. So if we see in that light, then a freewheeling diode is not at all required. Alright. But what happens if somehow other you miss the gate pulse to some of the thyristor, one of the thyristor. Let's say the cycle was going like this. Alright. And this is the firing angle. So you have fired the T1 here, but if somehow or other you forget to fire T3 here, if T3's gate pulse is missed, what will happen due to the high load current or due to the continuous nature of the inductor current, this T1 has to remain turned on from this point, although the T1 was remaining turned on from this point to this point earlier in this case. If the firing pulse was not missed, T1 was connecting from this point to this point. If I take IT1, It was conducting from this point to this point, from alpha to alpha plus pi. But if somehow other the gate pulse is missed, alright, if gate pulse is missed of T3, means you have not given the gate pulse to T3, what will happen? That to maintain the continuous current of load, this T1 has to remain turned on till here also, alright. Means if you, in other words, if you say that if somehow other the gate circuit of T3 is destroyed, let us say if assume that gate circuit of T3 is destroyed, of T3 is destroyed. So, in that case what will happen? This means that T3 will never be on, alright. In this case, if you draw a modified circuit, the modified circuit will be like this, means T3 is always off. So, you can modify it like an open circuit always, alright. Like this, constant current load. So, in that case what will happen? If the load current has to be continuous, in that case this T1 will remain always on, it will never be off, alright. T1 will have to conduct continuously, alright, it will never be off, alright. So, in this case what will happen? That one of the SCR will become highly loaded with the load current. So, that is why we have to provide a freewheeling diode here, alright. Otherwise, if the circuit is working, this circuit is working fine, in that case inherently it is having the freewheeling function, you do not need to give any freewheeling diode. But if somehow other the gate circuit of any of the thyristors is destroyed, alright, or you may miss the gate pulse, in that case one thyristor will be overburdened with the load current, alright. That is why we need a freewheeling diode. So, in this case the option D will be correct, alright. So, you see that the gate questions are very simple. What you have to do is just make a modified circuit, just understand the question and make a modified circuit. What will be the circuit? And based on the load conditions given, based on the circuit conditions given, try to draw the waveforms, alright. So, moving on to the next question. Here next question is a single phase full wave half controlled bridge converter feeds an inductive load. The two SCRs, I think I have copied the same question, sorry. So, next question is this one. In the circuit of adjacent figure, the diode connects the AC source to a pure inductor. See, this is the case of a pure inductor, and we have studied that in the case of a pure inductor, the rectification never happens. The rectification never happens. Why it never happens? Because the inductor does not have a discharge, does not have discharge path, and it will keep diode forcefully on. So, that what was happening, the cycle was like this, the output cycle was, the output was like this, if you remember, okay. So, when the output is like this, it means the diode D is always on. So, when diode D is always on, it means it will be conducting for full 360-degree duration, alright. So, see how simple the questions are there. Now, next question. In 2008, see, a single phase fully controlled bridge converter supplies a load current drawing constant and ripple free. I have told you that sometimes they mention constant and ripple free, and sometimes they mention continuous ripple free, sometimes they mention constant load current, alright. So, there is a single phase fully controlled bridge. Fully controlled bridge means the thyristors are like, means 4 thyristors are there. So, means as soon as you study the sentence, you must immediately recall what kind of bridge converter is given, what kind of converter is given to you, alright. So, immediately draw the figure and then proceed for the further question. So, based on the given question till now what we have studied about the question, this is the question given. So, this is source voltage, let us say T1, T3, T2, T4. Now, see constant ripple free current, if the triggering angle is 30 degree, the input power factor will be, see this is the question of performance parameters. So for this we have studied that for a fully controlled converter, the source load current was like this was the load current, and source current was coming like this, where this is alpha, this is pi plus alpha, this is 2 pi, this is 2 pi plus alpha, this is 3 pi, and so on. So we have, when we have means for this circuit, we have already calculated the performance parameters, and in performance parameter for this circuit we have calculated that displacement power factor comes around 0.9. all right, single phase 0.9 cos alpha. all right, displacement factor comes around 0.9 cos alpha. all right, and what is power factor in this case? If you have remembered the formula, it was like, it was IS1 RMS upon IS RMS. Sorry, displacement factor was not 0.9, this displacement factor was cos alpha. Displacement factor was cos alpha, and power factor was IS1 RMS upon IS RMS into displacement factor. all right, so it was this value. If you have remembered that IS1 RMS was 4 I naught upon pi root 2, and IS RMS was I naught. all right, so when we have calculated it, it was 0.9 cos alpha. So if it's better if you remember the formulas for some particular cases. So in this case, what was the power factor we will get for alpha equal to 30 degree? It will be 0.9 into cos of 30 degree. It means 0.9 into root 0.866, because cos 30 root 3 by 2, and when you calculate, I have the calculator with me, then it is 0.9 into 0.866, it is 0.7794. it comes around 0.7794. So see, 0.7794 means 0.78 is the power input power factor. So please remember, don't just put cos alpha, don't just calculate cos 30, because that option is also given here, cos 0.866, but this is not power factor. I have already told you that for non-sinusoidal waves we generally calculate power factor by this formula. all right, otherwise between the fundamental components you get the displacement power factor. all right, so power factor is this formula. So it is 0.9 cos alpha for fully controlled bridge converter. So you are getting it 0.78. So see how simple the questions are. Then next question in 2008 itself, then just see here, although these people have mentioned that it is a single phase half controlled converter, but sometimes they do not mention, nowadays they do not mention about the circuit. So by seeing the circuit you must conclude what kind of circuit it is. So we can see it's a semi converter. all right, it's a semi converter with inductive load. all right, and what is given? It is filling to highly inductive load. So see, please note that whenever this term is written, highly inductive load, so highly inductive load means the current is CCM, means load current is in continuous conduction mode. So obviously load current is in continuous conduction mode, alpha is given 60 degree. So it means what will happen, that from alpha to pi the output will be there, V naught will be equal to Vs, and from pi to pi plus alpha the freewheeling effect will be there. So that's why freewheeling effect is there. Freewheeling effect is there. I have already explained all these circuits to you in my previous lecture. That's why I am not again explaining this circuit. Just I am explaining the concept again what we have studied there. So if you have observed there that from alpha to pi, we know, so all this and this are conducting, or this and this are conducting, and from pi to pi plus alpha till means when the cycle gets reversed from that instant to the firing angle instant, the freewheeling effect was there. Freewheeling effect means either this leg is causing freewheeling effect or this leg is causing freewheeling effect. all right, so in that case alpha is equal to 60 degree, you have alpha equal to 60 degree, it means from 60 degree to 180 degree there will be V naught equal to Vs, and from 180 degree to 240 degree, again V naught will be equal to free wheeling effect 0. ठीक है ना, free wheeling effect. All right. So now see, if the firing now what it is given, that if the firing pulses are suddenly removed, the steady state voltage of the converter will become like what? All right. Now I understand this question very clearly. Suppose if the firing pulses are not removed, then obviously the converter output voltage must be like this. All right. No problem with that. Okay. If the firing pulses are not removed, the converter voltage should be like this. All right. Now, if you have removed the converter firing pulses, then what will happen? Think about it. That what will happen here? If you have removed the firing pulses of the converter, in that case, what will happen? Now, if you remove the firing pulses, the converter, yes, here, it means that this thyristor will not get fired again. All right. It means what? The thyristor will not get fired again. Okay. Just think about it. That, and let me draw the modified circuit here. Let us say this is the circuit. Okay, T1, T3, D2, D4. Now what will happen? Suppose for the first cycle, first half cycle you have given the firing pulse. Alright, so first half cycle you have given the firing pulse. So let us make the output voltage, input and output voltages. So let us say it is Vi. So what will happen now? Sorry. We have to draw the output voltage. And let us say this is the firing angle. All right. So let us say means at the starting of the firing angle, at the starting of the circuit was working fine, firing angle was working fine, and you have given the firing angle. No problem with that. All right. And let me mark firing angles like this. Now immediately after giving firing angle, what was happening, that somehow or other your firing angle was removed. Okay. Now you have removed the firing angle, means now you have not giving firing angle to T3, and after that you are not giving any firing angle to the waveform. So if you are not giving the firing angle to T3, what will happen here? Just think, the load current is continuous. See, I am making the load current here. The load current is, I am taking it as constant. Okay. So when the load current constant, what will happen? That from this is alpha, this is pi, this is alpha plus pi, this is 2 pi. What will happen here? From pi to pi plus alpha, T1 and D2 will be forming a this freewheeling effect. So from here to here there is no problem. All right, they are forming a freewheeling effect. But what will happen if at alpha plus pi T3 gets the gate pulse? In that case, the output will be like this. Okay, but what is happening at pi plus alpha? There is no gate pulse for the T3. So when there is no gate pulse for T3, just remember, just now we have done such kind of problem. It means that T3 will be open circuit. So we can make the T3 as open circuit here. So we make the T3 as open circuit. So what will happen when T3 is open circuit and current has to flow anyway? It means what? That this thyristor T1 will remain still continuously on. Alright. So, when this thyristor T1 is still remain on, what will happen? Still this freewheeling effect remains, because T1 and D2 are on, D4 is still off, and D4 is off, T3 is also off. So, this terminal of supply is disconnected, load and source are disconnected, means still the freewheeling effect is going on. Alright. It means there will be no output voltage after this. So, it means what option must be correct? It means, now here see, if the gate pulse is here, the options given are wrong here. Alright. This option is correct, this A option is correct, but here the alpha must be given. Alright. This alpha must be given. So, this option is wrong, all 4 options are wrong basically. So, output will be like this, and then it will be like this. Okay. Negative is anyway not possible, because the semi-converter does not allow negative, alright, and it is also not possible, alright, because it is a full wave rectifier, alright, and you are not giving gate pulse, means these two are anyway not possible. So, possibility of this, but here it is also not possible, because firing angle has been removed. Okay, firing angle has been removed. So, this must be the correct option, but here due to printing mistake or something, this alpha has been has not been drawn. Alright. So, this must be the correct option. Alright. So, coming to the next question, a single phase fully controlled bridge converter is used for electrical braking. You see, electrical braking of a separately excited DC motor. One thing I want to make you know, that when motoring mode is there, then this terminals of back EMF are like this, alright, when motoring mode is there. And when braking mode is there for a DC motor, then you have to change the terminals, alright. You have to reverse the terminal in order for applying the electrical braking in the DC motor, alright. So, that is why this has been reversed, alright. So, the DC motor is resonated by a equivalent this, alright, that there is no problem. Now, here it is saying that assume that the load inductance is sufficient to ensure continuous ripple free source current. It means this whole load can be replaced by this. Okay. So, if you try to draw the modified circuit, your modified circuit will be like this. Immediately based on the question, please draw the modified circuit, alright. In that case, if you draw the modified circuit correctly, you will not get confused. It means the whole load is represented by this. Now, there is no problem. Okay. So, we know that this is a single phase full wave fully controlled converter, and we know that when motoring mode is there, we have studied that its average output voltage comes out to be Vm upon pi 2 Vm upon pi cos alpha. It means for it varies, this average output voltage with respect to alpha varies like this, alright, like this, like a cosine wave, where this is 0, this is pi by 2 and this is pi, means after pi by 2 anyway the supply average output voltage becomes negative. It means before pi by 2 motoring mode is there, and after pi by 2 braking mode is there, alright. So, braking mode is there. It means just by seeing the question and just by remembering this concept, we must be clear that the alpha must be greater than 90 degree. It is for sure, because braking is there. So, it means alpha must be greater than 90 degree. Now, now we have to calculate it. Here it is given that the average output voltage is 10 amperes, alright. So, firing angle for the bridge for load current of I naught is equals to 10 amperes. Now, see here, you have been given 2 and you have been given 150, alright. So, we know that the average output voltage is given as 2 Vm upon pi cos alpha, and we are also being given I naught is equals to 10 ampere, R is equals to 2 ohm and E equals to minus 150 volts, because the supply is reversed. Now, see here, when we are talking about the average output voltage, then for average output voltage this inductor current has not to be taken, because we have already discussed it several times that inductor whatever charge means the inductor fully discharges itself. It means the average inductor current I average is always 0. The average current across inductor is always 0. So, that is why we are not taking that. So, it means that if you want to calculate the average output current, it means the average output current must be average output voltage minus E divided by R. Alright. What should be the average output current? Because you can replace this whole circuit, or you can say we can replace this whole circuit by another modified circuit like this. Means by suppose if you remove this load terminal. So, this circuit means up to this point, this circuit can be replaced by this, where the EMF of this battery is basically V naught average, alright, V naught average, and then you can connect the load here, alright. Now, in this case what is happening, the alpha must be greater than 90 degree. So, in this case average output voltage comes around negative, it means this voltage can be replaced by a supply like this, alright. So, now you have got the average output current also 10, average output voltage is 2 Vm upon pi cos alpha minus, now here in this case what E is replaced by minus E. Why? Because the terminals are interchanged, alright. So, minus E divided by R. So, just put the values, 10 equal to Vm is already been given, see this 230 volt is the RMS value, alright. By default single phase supply represents RMS value. So, RMS value you have to convert to peak value, means 2 into 230 root 2 divided by pi cos alpha plus 150 divided by R is 2 ohms. Yes. So, just solve it, you will get cos alpha is equals to 20 minus 150 upon 20 minus 150 into pi divided by 430 root 2. So, I have calculator with me, let me calculate. So, it will be minus 130 into pi divided by 430 root 2, alright, and then take the cos inverse. Yes, if you take the cos inverse, it is coming approximately 132.2 degrees. Just calculate it, it is coming around this value 132.2 degree. It means near about this value, alright, it is near about this value, alright. Let me check once again. 20 minus 150 means minus 130 into pi my 130 into pi. Oh, sorry, it's 230 into 2 is 460. That's why the answer was wrong. All right. So, let me do the calculations again. Let me rub here. Let me do calculations again. It is minus 130 into pi divided by 460 root 2, and then take the cosine inverse. It is coming 128.88 degrees. 128.88 degree. It means approximately 129 degree. So, you see that's how easy is the question. How easy it is. All right. Only thing you have to know is that inductor current, average inductor current is 0. Hence, this whole circuit, this one, again I am marking the circuit, this whole circuit can be represented by this, alright. So, you have to keep this is called modeling of a circuit, alright. Now again come to the next question. You see this question is again repeated. Alright, the case of pure inductor, and what it is given: ideal diode connected to pure inductor to a pure 50 hertz voltage source. This is 50 hertz supply. Alright, and under the ideal condition, the inductor current waveform will look like. Now you have to draw the inductor current, and if you remember, the inductor current comes like this, that when the input cycle was like this, if the input voltage was like this, let us say this is the input voltage, so the inductor current was coming like this. Like this. If you draw the inductor current, or you say the load current, it was like this. See, this was the inductor current. So if you have 50 hertz sine wave, if you plot 50 hertz sine wave in terms of time, it will be 0 pi, and for 50 hertz it will be 0.01 second, it is 0.02 second, or in terms of millisecond if you say, so it will be 10 millisecond, it will be 20 millisecond, it will be 30, if I say it in milliseconds, let us say I am taking in milliseconds. Alright. So this is 10 millisecond, this is 20 millisecond, this is 30 milliseconds, this is 40 millisecond. So what inductor current is looking, see the cycle of inductor, it is 0, it is 20, it is 40, means inductor current frequency is becoming like this, half. Alright. So see what waveform should be here. Although all 4 waveforms are correct, this waveform is wrong because inductor does not allow this. Rectification, inductor does not allow, means this current is also this may be the shape, this may be the shape, or this may be the shape. So for that you have to see the time scale. What is the time scale of the value? So you see the time scale, whatever is giving you like this, so this waveform is correct. Alright. So you see from a single simple circuit how many types of question the gate people can make. So that's why I told you that you catch the concept, not cram everything. Alright. So next move on to the next question, that is of GATE 2010. So here just see the circuit, what you are observing, it is a single phase full wave fully controlled circuit. See all 4 thyristors are there. So it is a fully controlled circuit, So you see now read the question. When the firing angle is 0 degree, means when the alpha is 0 degree, what is happening? The output voltage, DC output voltage of the converter is 300 volt. It means V naught average has been given. Alright, DC output voltage of the converter means, see, DC output voltage means this V naught average, because converter gives you the pulsating DC, na? That's why. That is also known as DC output voltage of the converter. So you please become familiar with all these terms. Alright, so for alpha equal to 0 degree, the DC output voltage is 300 volts. So now he is asking what will be the output voltage if firing angle is 60 degree, means if alpha is equals to 60 degree, what will be the average output voltage. So it is very simple, you know that for a fully controlled bridge, you just remember the average output voltage formula, that is 2 Vm upon pi cos alpha, you know that. Alright, it is very easy. So now we can put that for alpha equal to alpha 1, V naught average 1 we get, and that will be 2 Vm upon pi cos alpha 1, because this factor remains constant, this factor is not going to change until you change the supply. And for alpha equal to alpha 2, V naught average 2 will become 2 Vm upon pi cos alpha 2. So just take the ratio. So that let me take the ratio, V naught average 1 upon V naught V naught average 2 upon V naught average 1 is equals to 2 Vm upon pi, 2 Vm upon pi, while taking the ratio will be cancelled out. So we can simply write cos alpha 2 over cos alpha 1. Alright, so V naught average 2 will be V naught average 1 into cos alpha 2 upon cos alpha 1. So, just calculate V naught average 2 is equals to V naught average 1 is 300 multiplied by cos alpha 2. What is cos alpha 2? 60 degree. Cos 60 degree divided by cos 0 degree. So, cos 0 is 1. So, the V naught average 2 value will be 300 into cos 60 is 1 by 2. It means 150 volt. So, in this case the average output voltage must be 150 volt. So, this option is correct. Alright, see how simple the gate question. Please get the after doing these questions, please get the confidence that gate is not so very difficult. It's all about the concepts. Alright. So, coming to the next question, that is 2011 question of from 2009. See, don't think that only one question has came. I am taking the topic only from single phase AC/DC rectifiers. That in that particular topic there is one question. Otherwise, there are several other questions from the 3-phase also, and from the choppers also, and from the inverters also. There are questions. Power electronics has the weightage of around 10% to 15% in gate. Alright. So, now again coming to this question. So, this is a common data question. Common data question means several questions are given, and for all the questions the data is common. So, here it is given for an input voltage of 100 root 2 sine this, means this is the input voltage and this is the input current. Alright. So, now just by seeing this you see that here 100 pi, there are in the current there are 3 different frequencies. Alright, here the if you see at here omega is 100 pi, omega is 100 pi means f is 50 hertz. Here we have got 3 frequencies. Here omega is 100 pi means f is 50 hertz. Here omega is 300 pi means f is 150 hertz, and here omega is 500 pi means f is 250 hertz. So, from this you please remember that if you multiply Vi and Ii, you get power only for the 50 hertz component. I have already explained this in basic electrical engineering, which you have also studied, and I have also explained in my lectures that the power flows only when the same frequency components are present. Alright, otherwise active power does not flow. Alright, and similarly the power factor also. So, now here it is asking what should be the input power factor of the converter. So, by seeing this current we can conclude that the current is a non-sinusoidal waveform and voltage is a sinusoidal waveform. So, if you want the power factor of the converter, for that what you have to do? First of all, you have to calculate the displacement power factor. And what is displacement power factor? I have already told you displacement power factor is cos of angle between fundamental voltage component and fundamental current component. Alright. So, see, fundamental voltage component is here. So, I am solving 48th question. So, what is the fundamental voltage component? If you write Vi, you can write it as 100 root 2 angle 0. Alright. And if you write II, Vi1, 1 means fundamental, and if you write II1, that is 10 root 2 angle minus pi by 3 radians, pi by 3 radian, or basically you can also write it as 10 root 2 angle minus 60 degree. Alright. So, it means first of all you have to calculate the displacement power factor. So, what is the displacement power factor? It is cosine of angle between the fundamental voltage component and fundamental current component. So, it will be like this. So, its value will be cos of 60 degree, it means 0.5. So, the input power factor of the converter must be 0.5. Displacement power factor. So, displacement power factor is 0.5. Now, you have to calculate the input power factor. Alright. So, input power factor, you know that power factor is basically generalized equation is IS1 RMS over IS RMS multiplied by displacement power factor. So, here you can see what is IS1 RMS. So, IS1 RMS means this. So, here it is peak value. So, IS1 RMS, what will be the value? IS1 RMS, it is 10 root 2 by root 2 means 10 amperes. And what is IS RMS? So, for that IS RMS will be what? whatever you have got the peak values, just add up, square and add them. All right. So you will get 10 root 2 by root 2 whole square plus 5 root 2 by root 2 whole square plus 2 root 2 by root 2 whole square. So if you solve it, you will get ISRMS is equals to under root 10 root 2 in each of the factors will be cancelled out. So it will be 100 plus 25 plus 4 means ISRMS will be 129. All right. So if you calculate it through calculator, 129 means square root of 129 means 11.36 amperes. So its value is 11.36 ampere. So you have got IS1 RMS and ISRMS. So now calculate its value. So power factor will be 10 divided by 11.36. Now what is displacement power factor? It is 0.5. So the value is 10 into 0.5 divided by 11.36. So it is coming 0.44. So this is the input power factor. Now you see what gate people do. They also do give the another option which is also wrong. If they have also given the option of 0.5 also. So if you have forget that input power factor in case of non-sinusoidal currents and non-sinusoidal waveform. Here from by seeing the I1B you can conclude. First of all, this is called concept. All right. First of all, you must conclude that other than fundamental components, if frequencies are present, it must be a non-sinusoidal component. All right. So it means for calculating the input power factor, first of all, I have to calculate DPF, displacement power factor. Then I have to calculate the RMS values of fundamental component and total RMS, and means applying this formula. This one. All right. Or if you go even more general. So I have already told you power factor is basically input power factor means input power, active power. So VS1, IS1 RMS, VS1 RMS, IS1 RMS into cos phi is known as DPF, divided by input volt amperes means VS RMS and IS RMS. All right. Here you would see I have in the upper I have written VS1 RMS. And lower I have written VS RMS. Why? I have in general the voltage may also be non-sinusoidal. But here since voltage is sinusoidal, that's why in this case VS RMS is equals to VS1 RMS. All right. But if you go to the inverter circuits, all right, in that case voltage and current both are non-sinusoidal. So in that case you have to apply this formula, not the second one. All right. In case of inverters, you have to apply this formula. In case of rectifiers, we can apply this formula. Both are correct. All right. So you see, the gate people has given this option also, but this is wrong. Because this is displacement power factor, not the input power factor. So input power factor is basically 0.44. Hence, this option is wrong, and this option is correct, and this option is wrong. All right. So next move to the next part, that is the active power drawn by the converter. So see, what is the active power? I have already told you the active power drawn by the converter is only with the same frequency components. So if you want to calculate the active power drawn by the converter is same frequency component means C. It is basically what? VS1 RMS into IS1 RMS into cos phi. All right. So what is the active power drawn by the converter? See here, cos phi means basically just replace, don't write cos phi, just write power factor multiplied by into power factor. So what is the VS1 RMS? VS1 RMS, you see it is given 100 root 2, peak value is 100 root 2, so RMS value will be 100. All right. So 100 root 2 by root 2 multiplied by IS1 RMS, you see here the fundamental component is 10 root 2 by root 2 into 0.44. So what you will get here, it is 1000 into 0.44. All right. So it is approximately 440 watts. But if you just want to neglect power factor, if you want to take displacement factor, just take cos phi. So it will be, if you take cos phi, Vs RMS IS1 RMS into cos phi, if you take it, it will be 100 into 10 into 0.5. It means it will be 500 watts. So it means option B is correct. All right. So I hope you are understanding how subtle is this. So it's very important to remember the performance parameters. So next, coming to the next question. A half controlled single phase bridge rectifier is supplying an RL load. So just by reading the question, you must conclude what is half controlled. Half controlled means semi converter. So just draw the circuit. And it is feeding a RL load. RL load means, if the gate people have not mentioned DCM mode, it means by default it is a CCM mode. It is operated at a firing angle alpha and the load current is continuous, they have mentioned already. The fraction of cycle that the freewheeling diode conducts. Now here, although the freewheeling diode is not there, it means the purpose of saying here freewheeling diode means for what period the freewheeling effect is there. So you remember the freewheeling effect remains from pi to pi plus alpha. It means, again I am drawing that this is the input and this is 0, pi, 2 pi and so on, and this is the firing angle alpha plus pi. So you see, from alpha to pi you get the output, all right. From alpha to pi, V naught is equals to Vs, we have done earlier also, and from pi to pi plus alpha, V naught is 0 because freewheeling effect, all right. So it means freewheeling diode is conducting for alpha radians, all right. Freewheeling diode is conducting for alpha radians, but here you have to give the answer in terms of time, all right. So it's in terms of time. So if you want to, in terms of fraction of cycle, you have to give. So you see, now fraction of cycle means whether you have to take the input cycle or you have to take the output cycle, all right. So this is a big question, because if you take the input cycle, then the total cycle time period is 2 pi, all right, for input cycle, and for output cycle total time period is pi. So what do you have to take? Just think about it, all right. So we have to take the output cycle, obviously. Why we have to take the output cycle? Because we are dealing with the output voltage now. Freewheeling effect is coming for the output voltage now. That's why we are taking the output cycle. So what? So in output cycle, the total cycle is like this. You see, for output, the total cycle is like this. Okay, in that total cycle, this portion alpha radians is conducting as freewheeling. So it means freewheeling is conducting for alpha radians. So in total pi cycle, in total pi radians, for how much time it is conducting? It is for alpha. So it means it is conducting for alpha upon pi duration. Means if you want to calculate the how much percentage is there, it is alpha upon pi into 100. For this much percent, the freewheeling operation is there. All right. So you see how simple questions are there. How simple the questions are there. So we are doing till now, and till 2012 we have completed the questions. In my next lecture also we will complete from 2013 onwards, question from 2013 onwards. So if you have any doubt till these questions, please post in the comment sections, and how do you like the lecture, please also post in the comment section. So till then, thank you very much.